There are so many videos about the basics of conlaying, but I've never seen a video about the basics of building a culinary tradition. So I'm gonna do that! First, what is a staple crop? In the real world, there are dozens of types of grain used all over. Some of the most common ones worldwide are rice, wheat, and corn. You can find more exciting grains like bulgur, buckwheat, teff, millet, sorghum, rye, barley, oats, amaranth, and wild rice in more specific places. Some of these have much less starch than the most common ones, though. We also have root vegetables. The most common one in the West is the potato, but the indigenous peoples of the Americas, especially in and around the Amazon, use cassava extensively as their primary source of calories and don't tend to use any grains. Post-colonization, much of Africa also uses cassava. There are also crops used as staples with much less starch in them, or that aren't grains, like sweet potatoes, taro, all legumes, sago, breadfruit, and baobab fruit, and a bunch of other things that for some reason are all called yams despite frequently being in completely different taxonomical orders. Like taro isn't a yam, sweet potato isn't a yam, oca isn't a yam, but we call all of those yams. You'll also find the word arrowroot getting thrown around a lot to talk about starchy crops. By and large, for staples, you're looking for a good amount of starch no matter what. Once you've selected one or more types of crop, refine them. How much water do they need to grow? Rice needs 25 gallons per ounce, which is a lot, but enough wheat to make 1 ounce of bread only uses 7 gallons. Rice is grown in flooded paddies. Teff can be grown in much drier environments. Depending on where your people live and how much water there is, you might need to adjust your crop. Or alternatively, you might want to adjust your culture to better fit the crop you've designed. Do some research. How are they harvested and who harvests them? The Ojibwe harvest wild rice in the Midwest in canoes through a really cool process. One person pushes the canoe with a big stick, and the other uses 2 sticks, one to bend the wild rice over the canoe and the other to knock all the rice out of it. This process actually reseeds the bed of the lake. I've linked to a video about it in the description, and also to a link to order wild rice from White Earth Nation. I recommend it. How is your staple processed? One type of cassava is toxic in its unprocessed form, so indigenous people develop these long squeezers. They peel and wash them, grate them into pulp, and then use the squeezers to squeeze out the liquid. They make use of all the byproducts, as you can see here. Depending on what they do, they end up with gruel, thin pancakes, high-quality pancakes, thin soup, or pepper pot. All from one plant. I learned most of this in person at the American Museum of Natural History, which is also where I took these photos a while back. Otherwise, I'd link to more sources in the description. What will you come up with? Let me know in the comments. Eat a good fish. Oh wait, that would probably be a different video.